All right, join us now on the show. She's one of the all-time greats out of Ramona High School and pitching right now in the SEC. It's Brianna Lopez, former Rams star, and now with the Ole Miss Rebels. And Brianna, I do want to talk about Ole Miss and pitching in the SEC, which seems like it's just on a complete another level in terms of talent and the teams and the opposition that you go up against. But first off, Ramona High School, what do you remember about pitching for the Rams? Was it the league titles? I think I even had you on the Inland Sports Show one time, and you were coming off like a no
Yeah.
hitter. I mean, what do you remember about high school?
I just remember pitching every game. And it sounds, a little weird to say that, but I remember going out there, Shiner's like, "You got the ball. You got the ball. You got the ball." And I'm like, "Okay, okay, we got it." And so after like I believe my freshman year, I was like, "Yeah, we're in it for the long run. We're in it for the long run." I don't even remember how many innings I had put up at Ramona, but it was like a constant, back and forth, back and forth. I was like battling my own body, and I tell Shiner like, "Yeah, my arm's a little sore." And he'd be like, "Get out there, let's go. Let's go win another title." But I mean, those titles were fun to win. It was such a good feeling out there.
Out of Ramona, you signed with Hawaii, and then you had a couple great seasons there. And then you transferred to Ole Miss. What was it about Ole Miss? Was it the SEC? Did you want to see how you would fare against maybe some of the best competition in the country? Did you love the coaching staff? What was it about the Rebels?
Yeah, so when I entered the portal, I had told my parents that I wanted to finish my career at the best conference that there was, and it's the SEC. And so when Jamie reached out, my head coach, I was like, "Oh my God, like this is it right here." I loved my time at Hawaii. I loved the memories, all my friends. I still talk to a handful of them. But it just wasn't that, culture that I was looking for. And so when I went to Ole Miss on my visit, I was like, they mean business. I mean, this feels like a full job. We have all these great resources out there. And so I just knew once I stepped on campus, I was like, yeah, this is it. And especially in the SEC, you can't get anything better than that.
Your first season with Ole Miss, if I have the stats correct, you led the team in strikeouts, you led them in appearances. You helped them get to the NCAA tournament. I think it was the eighth year in a row. I mean, was that kind of your expectation going into the season, or were you like, man, hopefully I get in the circle this season, or did you feel like I'm going to be a big part of this team?
No, I mean, I definitely wanted some playing time, but I know things run differently in the SEC, and I believe we had a handful of pitchers, and so deep down, I knew that I had to work my butt off. And so I remember talking to my dad, like, "Yeah, I don't know, I might not find, I know I might not see the field. We'll just see what happens." But I worked my butt off that off season, going into season, and then it finally just clicked, and I just started seeing the field a lot more often, and it's fun when your team, kind of trust you behind them. And, we have all these good inside jokes on and off the field. And, it was just a great reward.
So you're going into your senior season, and obviously the SEC is tough, but do you feel like this is a team that can make it out of conference play and maybe make a run through the postseason to get to the College World Series? Because we know there's so many great teams. I mean, obviously Oklahoma and Texas, and I could go on and on, but there's a ton of great teams in the SEC already.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, we got a whole new coaching staff. We got a couple good transfers. All the trust in our coach right now, but I do believe that we can make it far this year.
So between last season and going into this next season, how do you feel like you can become a better pitcher? You can make a more, a bigger impact on this team.
Yeah. Just I think just staying true to myself and really just putting in the work. I know like the off season can be a little scary for us just because we tend to get a little lazy here and there. Like I, mentioned, I had just gotten back into throwing. But I just think, just staying true to myself, just helping out my team in any way, whether that's being a starter, reliever, whatever, the coach asked me for. And we'll just put it all on the table this year. I mean, last year, best year.
Okay, so Bree, after Ole Miss, did you see softball in your future, whether it's playing professionally, whether it's coaching, or do you, once you get your degree, are you like, you know what, I'm going to be an adult, I'm going to go into the
You
real
know,
world?
it's definitely still up in the air. If my body lets me, we'll see about playing pro, but I think I've been playing for too long. I've been playing since I was 5 years old. I'm kind of at the age where I'm like, I think it's time to hang up the cleats. But I wouldn't be mad at it. I'm already proud of myself. I know my parents are very proud of myself, and I'm proud of them for not letting me, quit at a very young age and for letting me experience, this big college experience that everybody talks about. But, if I do hang up my cleats, I don't think it'd be, a sad decision. I think I'm ready to close this chapter and, start, whatever I'm going to start.
Okay, so that begs the question: what would that be? Like, if you weren't pitching, if you weren't at, playing softball or coaching softball, what do you think you might be doing?
I think, man, I mean, I'm majoring in criminal justice and homeland security right now. So I could see myself probably working for Riverside Police Department. And my mom actually works for the city too. So it'd be kind of fun to like see her around the city if, I'm on like a tag along or something with somebody. But I definitely want to go back to school and get my master's or get my certificate in forensic science. But I have so many options. I just don't know what to choose yet. I'll wait until that door opens up.
So let's say this is your last ride, your final season at Ole Miss. Do you feel like as you go through it, you're gonna maybe enjoy it a little bit more, or maybe just kind of soak in more of those moments along the way because you think, okay, this might be it. I better really enjoy
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, all the hard workouts throughout the fall, the grind is really real out there. I'll probably just remind myself, like, this is your last time doing it. You got to embrace it. You just stick through it. But yeah, I mean, I'm already like, I don't really want to think about it yet, but eventually it's gonna come by and it'll be a last for everything this coming up season.
And finally, Bree, you're back home in Riverside for the summer, and you said you try to shut it down a little bit, right? Get some rest. So what does your summer look like? At some point, does the team give you like an off-season workout program or training program? We want you to do this, until before you return to campus.
Yeah, so our coach and I speak with my athletic trainer 24/7, but my plan personally was to take a month off just to, rest my arm and stuff. But our strength and conditioning coach actually give us a off-season workout. And so we have, this big booklet of workouts that we have to do and, I'm doing them. I'm doing them all. But kind of just it depends on, how much you want to do on the off season. I don't really mind throwing that much, just to get used to it for season, especially. But I usually like taking my dad, like I mentioned, but it's just a grind in the summer too.
Well, Bree, congratulations on all the success. Best of luck your upcoming senior season at Ole Miss, and thank you for taking a couple minutes to join us here on the show. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.